Despite the Manscaped the Lawn Mower 4.0 Pro being a relatively small trimmer, it does a great job of trimming from my neck down to my nether regions. I don't praise that many products highly, but this one with its no nicks and cuts performance, especially down there, gets a big thumbs up from me. In this video I'm going to share what I like and what I don't like so much about the design and features of this trimmer. And I'm also going to do a demo trim, so I'm going to trim my chest, my armpit hair, and some of my abdomen area as well, just so you can guys see a demonstration of it. I've also shaved further down there and my gonads and all that, but for obvious reasons I'm not going to do a demo of that. I'm just going to explain you know, how that played out. The 4.0 comes under the groin and body category of trimmers made by Manscaped. However, when you look at the manual and the website, you can clearly see that these guys are primarily going for the balls. In the kit that I purchased, I got the trimmer, I got 2 attachment combs that are adjustable, and I also got a small cleaning brush, a USB cord, which is useful. You have a USB cord, so I've got many USB cords, an adapter, and plus this model comes with a travel case. I quite like this travel case. It's got a kind of a hard outer edge to it, and inside you can pop the trimmer inside, and it has a band that holds the trimmer in there nicely, and there's a little zip section where you can keep all the bits and bobs, you know, the trimmer attachment combs and the plug. So yeah, the travel case is pretty handy. You also get a nice detailed manual that comes with it, so yeah, it's very clear and lots of pictures on it. So yeah, just added little bits of effort that the company put into the product. So let's get the costs out of the way, and do I think it's value for money? So it costs around about $90 US and around about £90 in the UK and about 100 euros in Europe. So yeah, it's pretty pricey. However, I haven't found any other tool apart from the Lawn Mower 3.0 Plus that can do a good job of shaving down by the gonads area, and do pretty well on the chest area and armpits area. And the 3.0 costs quite a bit less, around about $70 US, 70 UK pounds, and around about 80 euros in Europe. So yeah, that's quite a bit of a price difference. And we also have to include the cost of the replacement blades. These cost around about $20 US or £25, or around about 25, 30 euros. And I'm okay with that if I have to replace them once every 12 months. Now, I'm definitely not going to be subscribing and paying every 3 months for the subscription of these blades, that's for sure. Change them every 12 months, paying for a new set of blades for 12 months, I'm fine with that. This is what Manscaped states about replacement blades. We recommend replacing your blade regularly to keep it sharp for maximum performance. On average, you see that changing out your blade every 3 to 6 months helps maintain peak hygiene and performance. Of course, your replacement cycle will depend on your frequency of use and your specific grooming needs. Now, I just use it as a guide, but for myself, I want to replace them about every 12 months. And what I do is, well, I just make sure I take care of them. You know, you always give them a good clean and add a little bit of lubrication to them and take care of them. But they should be lasting around about 12 months. Now, it's worth mentioning this quickly. When you go to if you purchase from the website Manscaped, you'll see that the box is usually ticked for a lower price. This will cost a lower price, and that's because you'll also be subscribed to their blade replacement, so you'll get sent replacement blades every 3 months, but of course you're going to be paying for them. So when you purchase from the website, check that out, and make sure that if you don't want to be paying for replacement blades, that you've tick the box, or tick the box for just the shaver, just for the trimmer. You're going to pay $10 or 10 quid extra for the trimmer, but you're not going to have to pay for the replacement blades. Now, I mention that because other companies, these men's grooming websites, have this sort of method as well as their sales method. When you write to the website, the box for the subscription is already ticked, and a lot of guys don't notice this and untick it and tick the box that they don't want to be subscribed to the subscription service, and they don't notice that, and then they get sent extra blades. They pay for them, and you know, and they're annoyed with it. So it's just worth mentioning that to you guys. I like this what Manscaped states. It states that the skin safe technology, which just means this ceramic part of the blade, does not guarantee no nicks or cuts. So I think it's nice for them to be able to be honest in that way, rather than, you know, doing the old sales pitches like, you will never get a nicks or cuts from this, and you know, and as I have mentioned, and you'll see, is that I don't get any nicks or cuts of it, which is great. So they only have a 90 days warranty period, and that's not that generous really, is it? I'd like to have about 12 months, so 90 days is not too great. So this 4.0 and the 3.0 is kind of like the smallest trimmer that I've ever used, and at first I thought that it's going to take forever to be able to shave my chest area and abdomen area because it's a large area. However, that was just not the case. It fits nicely in the hand, you know, and it has kind of a curved sort of banana shape. Now that curved shape I found very useful for certain areas. I mean, like if you think of the groin area in between the ball sack and the legs, or the armpits, the shape of it works really well. A good part of the outer section has a matte finish on it, so that's pretty good for gripping it and holding it. However, I did prefer the 3.0 for that because it was more rubberized and it had embossed section on it, embossed sections at the bottom of it. It has a little bit of a weight to it, and I kind of like weighty products. It makes me feel like I'm getting something of a higher quality. This was very light and plasticky, then you know, I count that as yeah, I kind of look at that as not as good product as something feeling a bit solid. I find the spotlight that we get on the trimmer is really useful, especially for shaving down below there, and that is activated by, if we've got the trimmer switched on, then there's an extra button underneath the main power button, and if we switch that, we can switch the spotlight on or switch take the spotlight off. That button below as well is also, if we hold it for 3 seconds or so, it's a travel lock. The trimmer blade is only 35mm or 1.25 inches wide, and that's pretty slim compared to any other non-groin shaving trimmers. However, that kind of makes sense to me because of shaving down that area, we need something that's a bit slimmer and a bit nifty, so that kind of makes sense to me. And only, as I've mentioned, it's more trickier when you want to grow the larger areas, which we'll see when I do the trim demo. So this skin safe technology just means that this inner blade section of the trimmer is made from ceramic, and this protects us from nicks and cuts. And actually, that's been my experience, that if this would have been a double-edged metal type of trimmer, I would have got some nicks. I have done with all other trimmers in the past, or at least hairs being pulled rather than nicks. This blade section is easy to remove. We just push our finger at the top section like that, and then when we put it back together, we just slide the blade in and then push the top back on. Very easy to take off and put back on. So we get 2 adjustable trimmer cones to this. One is size 2mm, 4mm and 6mm. The other one is 8, 10 and 12mm. And that's kind of enough for me if I want to do a trim. And I have used these, and I've trimmed down the chest and around the groin area and stuff on around about 4mm, and that's the way I'd prefer to keep it in the pubic and the pubic area and that. And then, but when I trim that, and it trims down very well, 4mm. But then I've been testing this out, so then I've used it and trimmed it down without a comb on it and just with the blade. But normally for myself, the pubic area, I would just stick to around about 3 or 4mm, and yeah, this works pretty well. And these are fairly easy to put on, to attach and detach as well. They slot on, slide on, and then we push it up and down, push it up or down for whatever size that you want to use, and then we just push the back bit to slide it completely off. It's very easy to attach and detach. So run time, we get around about 60 minutes from a full charge, from 60 minutes run time from a full charge, or we can get a quick charge if needed and just put it on for 10 minutes or so and get. But I've not used a quick charge in it, but the 60 minutes now, since I've had this, I've used it for around about 10 minutes shaving around the gonads and the pubic area so far, and it has 3 segments. I quite like the indicator lights. It has a segmented indicator light, and that begins with 3 segments. And I'm down to 2 segments now, so we'll see with this trim, with the trim of the chest and the abdomen area, what that reduces to. But I know on the 3.0 plus, around about 60 minutes is about right. This also has something built in where we can lay it on one of those wireless pads and pull it down, lay it on a wireless pad and let it charge. I'm not sure how long that would take, whether that probably has something to do with the wireless charger more so than the trimmer. Maybe not, maybe it's the opposite way around. But I've not as yet used that because I don't have a wireless charger at hand with me. So cleaning, it's very easy to clean. Manscaped states that it's fully washable, and I, as Manscaped suggests, I give it a good clean after a wash and leave the tap, quick wash and leave the tap, and that's it. And then let it sit out to dry for a little bit, pop it back in, pop the blade back in, and yeah, that's all easy enough. Now that's all the features and design stuff covered. Now next thing is I'll do a trim. Obviously, like I've said, I can't trim down below there, down at the private parts now, but I can explain to you how it went, and it's very good for me. It takes a little bit longer than what using some other trimmers may, but other trimmers I won't use without a comb down there because I've been cut so many times before. With this, I haven't, with this or the 3.0, I've not had any cuts or nicks or pulls at all yet, which is which is unheard of for me. Now, one thing with it is it does take time. I said that it took me about 10 minutes to trim down that area, and it's because I have to keep going over the same areas. I'll show you that in the demo trim. We have to keep going over the same area or go in the direction of the hair growth, and we usually have to do that anyway, but have to go in the direction of the hair growth, and you know, have to keep going over the same areas quite a lot. But when I was just being patient and just took my time a bit, I'm happy to take my time anyway, because I just don't want to be jabbing my ball sack with something again. Once I take my time a bit, you know, and I'm like, yeah, and in the end he did a great job, you know, gets nearly as close as a razor, but you know, afterwards I just get the Gillette razor out, get a multi-blade razor out, and then get them as smooth as they can be. But for the pubic area, ball sack area, and the groin area, yeah, it's been the best tool for me so far. And also, as I've mentioned previously, the size of it, how small it is, it just works. It works ideal for that area. Right, so let's crack on and do some trimming on the armpits, the chest, and a bit of the abdomen as well. So we've got a decent amount of chest hair there. I think it's about 8 weeks of growth, because the last time I did a trim there was with the 3.0 plus, so yeah, this must be around about 8 weeks. So I'm going to pop a trimmer comb on at first, because I want to show you guys in the demo that how if the trimmer comb functions, if it's any good or not. So one thing with this is that they could have something on the side that kind of shows you if it's on 2mm, 4mm or 6, but you have to know it by going, right, well, that's obviously 2mm with it being on there, then the next push up is 4mm, the next one is 6mm, so down to 2, push it up 1, that's 4mm. Let's do it on 4mm first and see how it gets on. But all I'm going to do really is shave one side. I'm just going to shave that right hand side, because we're just doing a demo here, so I don't need to do the whole lot. I'll finish the rest off afterwards, but we'll just do the one side. Okay, so 4mm. Okay, let's do that's trimmed down to 4mm. Yeah, that would do. Like I said, it takes quite a bit of time, doesn't it, doing larger areas, or it's quite tricky. Okay, we've got there, we've got in there, Okay, anyway, that's a good enough demonstration. We can see that it trim it down, it takes a little bit of time to trim down with the comb on. So let's now do it without the comb. I've got the hang of using these Manscaped ones now. It's best to try and keep this surface slightly up, you know, like, yeah, rather than digging in that kind of way, just keeping it slightly up, if that can be seen very well. Like that, rather than in. Or scooping works quite well with it. Okay, look, we can see without the comb, it's much quicker. The comb's a bit awkward really, so it's much easier just to trim down without the comb. Right, more or less there with the chest. I guess there's probably a couple of bits like a clear up after by myself. Have a good check afterwards. This is just to demonstrate for you guys anyway, so no need to be over the top. Yeah, right, that's the chest done. Okay, let's see how we get on with the armpit now. Okay, that's much easier without the comb. Yeah, armpit was pretty easy there, wasn't it? Okay, let's do a little bit of the abdomen area. One half of the abdomen area. Very easy, the abdomen area, or much easier, because I don't know if you're the same, but my hair there is a much thinner, lighter hair than the chest. The chest is more closer to the hair, the same as the pubic area. Right, I'd say we're done. Well, half done there. Half a job done. Now the finishing, you might not be able to see this, it probably look like it's properly shaved. There is stubble there, you know, if I put my hand against the grain, then yeah, there's a slight amount of stubble there, as expected with a kind of trimmer. We can't get razor close with a trimmer. So that's about it, guys. So the Manscaped 4.0, the same as the Manscaped 3.0 Plus, as a tool that I really like, and it's the best trimmers that I've used for shaving the private areas. It takes a little bit longer around the larger areas, but you know, that's the payoff for having a trimmer that's not going to give me any nicks and cuts and shaves the private areas very well. A quick recap on the downsides. Mostly it's about the price and not much of a warranty period, 90-day warranty period. And yeah, and like I said, going over larger areas takes a little bit longer, but that's about it on the negative side of it, the con side of it. So next up, as it makes absolute sense, will be the Manscaped 5.0 Ultra, so I'll be getting that in next. Of course, give me a bit of time because I get a little bit of a jungle going. It takes a little bit of a while, doesn't it, on the chest and other areas. So you know, it needs about more like about 8 weeks to get that going. But that, yeah, for sure, I'll be having that used and reviewed soon. And I'll also do a quick video comparison, I think, of the 3.0 Plus and the 4.0 Pro. That'll make sense. That should be a pretty short video covering any of the differences. And if you'd like to stay up to date with any of the next videos that are coming out, do hit the subscribe button. You'll get a notification once the video is live. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.